Hello friends, I'm Colonel Failure and you're back again with Transport Fever Peninsula 2, the second coming of the peninsula. And in the first episode I managed to get a fuel line running, and we'll see how that's doing in a moment. It should whistle past the camera in a sec and you'll see the change that I have made. But what we're looking at here is a lovely passenger coach going past on the road there, because I have connected every town on the map to its neighbours, so that we can get a little bit of passenger revenue going and a little bit of passenger demand. There we go. After all that umming and ahhing about whether or not to use the most powerful train in the kitty, I switched it out. The double header wasn't doing it for me. Even this one slows down to 5 miles per hour going up the hill. What are you going to do? I mean, it's a very, very straightforward process. But what are you indeed going to do? Anyway, this is about to arrive in the platform. Keep your eyes on the very little window here, and you'll see the amount of money that this manages to make as it steams in, as it surely will, in just a moment. And steams in. Just a moment has passed. And there we go, 377 grand, very nice indeed. And as you can see, this train is very profitable. It works quite nicely. And overall, our profit situation is pretty good. In a year where I don't muck around with anything at all, we make about 650 grand. That's not bad, is it? We make a little bit less currently, because obviously running costs are going up exponentially with the number of wagons that I'm running. When every single one of them gets more expensive to run per year, well, you're going to have some trouble, aren't you? Yes, you are. It's also only taking 7 fuel back at a moment, so it's not going to be a profit-heavy year. And the reason that it's doing that is because we are starting to get a bit of a backlog of fuel build up in both the Raccoon City end of things and the Alpha Complex side of things. I am deploying more wagons to go and ship that out. As you can see, we've got 94 fuel waiting to go to Alpha Complex. Come on then. I don't know how many I've got on there at the moment, actually. What do we got? Yeah, we've got a good shake of vehicles going on, 130. I think this here is probably the last one that I deployed, and that's 144. So 144 road vehicles are currently in service, and as you can see, here's the balance sheet. They are panning out quite nicely. What I did to start with all these intercity lines was I stuck 2 on every line, and then I kept adding them until the frequency was acceptable. As you can see, the longest frequency we've got is 14 minutes. And actually, Los Eldo, I could probably stick another 1 or 2 on there. But in terms of the number of routes I've got that don't make money, there you go, count them. Very, very few. I just reset the fuel delivery line here, so that's not calculating properly at the moment. I had to reset it because some idiot put passenger coaches on there. Anyway, today, with not an awful lot of cash in hand, we're going to do something a little bit cheaper to set up, but hopefully should end up yielding quite a lot of cash. That's right, ships are coming back. Yes, I can hear you crying already. Ships? Are you insane? I mean, they hardly pay for themselves very quickly now, do they? True. They really, really don't. The reason for doing so is primarily because we've tested them before, but also because this route here, where we just ship fuel over to Atlantis, has always been a tidy little earner. Tidier still would be if I were to put a refinery over there and set up a second fuel route. But honestly, I don't even need to do that, to be honest. A couple of ships just running fuel in one direction, and an old El Dorado here. If we stick a port next to Atlantis, and El Dorado will get some, as will Los Santos. But saying that, I'm now of an opinion that I might go straight for food, given that does deliver in both directions. Now that's a slightly more complicated route in that we've got to go into Rapture to make that happen. And the big problem with Rapture is there's not very many places you can deliver to. There's enough to make some money though, isn't there? Well, okay, yes, I suppose you're right. Okay, right. Well, we'll do that then. So if I can get a port in here somewhere, and I haven't tried this out in advance, as I'm sure you're aware, I'm sure I built that. I'm certain I added the perpendicular mod here. Oh, there we go. I have. Well, in which case, hooray. So there we go. Here's the perpendicular mod, which basically means that I can run it like this rather than have to finish flush along the side of the landscape, and that's going to make life a little easier. But when each one of these is, you can make a couple of million without breaking a sweat off one ship arriving in the port. There we go. And you can do that multiple times a year if you get lucky. Now, I've got about 7 million quid if I max out my loan again. So I've got the cash to make this happen. It's really just a question of, well, where do you want to make it happen? Here would be an absolute delight. And it looks very much like an absolute delight is what we're going to get. Yeah, okay. No, that's golden. That really is quite a nice location. As long as, the ships don't run aground or anything, but I've never seen them run aground so far, so who knows. Now, I'm going to pause it because I've got vehicle auto replacement going on, and we're at about that time when they're going to want to do that. So we don't want to let them do that while I'm busy spending heavy. So we'll fling that in there, and then we'll go set one at the other end as well. Now, it is, I could do stop-offs with full cargo loads, but honestly, that's just not going to do me any favours in the slightest, because if you can run full in both directions, that's where the money is. Now then, where's the flattest bit? I'm not too bothered about having to truck stuff around afterwards. It's simply a question of where the flat bit is, and that's flat in terms of it being in line with the sea rather than anything else. Right. Well, this is more or less where I was last time, so let's try it again. Maybe if we can go out on this bit of land here. It's barely a spit, more an outcropping. Okay. Yep, that would work, or would it? Yeah, no, actually this isn't bad. It's not bad. It leaves El Dorado a little bit stuffed in terms of getting food delivery. So maybe if I were to go here, I'm sure I can find somewhere where this will sit in. Those of you who have been recommending I use this mod since, I don't know, about 50 episodes ago, you're absolutely right. It makes life absolutely dreamy. Right, there we go. We'll plunk it in there. I reckon there's enough space for a truck stop in there somewhere, and then we'll run this as quickly as possible up that hillside. Now that's going to be quite slow going for any vehicles using it, but the direct route is preferable to anything else. Right, let's get a truck stop on here. Well, this is all going quite seamlessly. What I'd love to be able to do, and maybe I'll do that in the next episode actually, is pause for a moment and actually improve the look of things a little bit. What I didn't get to do last time, because cash was so utterly restricted when I played through this before, that I never really got to smell the flowers and decorate stuff properly. Now, the intention was always that, yeah, I'll do it once everything's settled down. I'll get to a little bit of improvement in style, but I'd like to do that up front this time. And you're only talking about a couple $100,000 per stop, per line, per whatever, to get it looking a little better. 184k flipping it, that's a lot to spend. I think we had there we go, 60. No, now we're building a ruddy great embankment. Well, this is only the same cost as you would spend to use the terrain tools to do it. It doesn't make it any more palatable, but there you are. Right, Stay Puffed is where we're going from, so let's name this accordingly. Stray Puffed. Well, that could work. There's some pun action in there. And then you're going to head out down here, which is... It's almost a crow flies route. The ideal would be to cut straight across like that, but you're looking at 500,000 plus in terms of getting that built. So let's just not, shall we? Right, Los Santos West. No. What do we end up calling this land? I can't remember what I called it. It had some kind of very clever name that I now forget. So we'll call this Los Santos dual shipping. Wow, gripping stuff. That's a heck of a name, that is. We'll call this Los Santos shipping transfer. Okay, cool. Right, that's going to something. All right, let's set that route up and get the trucks in motion. Now, I think it really, I mean, it's going to come down to how many ships I end up flinging up and down here, but let's keep it modest to start with. If this takes at all, then we'll be able to judge by the amount of goods waiting in there whether or not I need to up the tempo on the number of trucks making deliveries. So we're using, this is going to be food transfer Los Santos. Yep. And then if we assume that we're going to bring some back again, we're going to want some delivery lines here. So we'll go for Los Santos and we'll go with New York. And we'll chance El Dorado as well. Yeah, so we'll have a quick look and make sure that we've got at least a little bit of catchment going on. So if we do that, you've got quite a lot. So Hillcrest is good there. New York. Oh, this will work. Yep, absolutely. Birch Street is fine. And then down to El Dorado. That would be that's the perfect stop there. So I'm going to stick a stop in on both sides of the road. Oh, I know, watch it. Yeah, see it happen. Because I have a feeling I might develop this island first. I think this island has got as much, if not more, potential for rail travel than others that I've explored in the past. The other one is the obvious big hitter, the three cities of terror, which is, I think, Caprica, Sherma, and Mos Eisley, I think, is the one you want to go for. I'll have a look at it in a moment, and you can judge for yourself. Right, what are you doing? You're setting up delivery routes. Oh, okay, right. 1, 2, 3. Now, if anybody's got any suggestions, because, I mean, my approach to doing this is always exactly the same, which is you set your delivery routes in motion, you set your originating stuff in motion, and the demand at the tail end is makes it all work. Shall I put that into English? That would be quite a civilized thing to do. So the way that I usually do things is I'll set up all routes at the same time in a goods chain. So I will set up delivery at the same time as raw material kind of pick up and go. That way, by the time you're returning goods for the first time, your delivery system is well and truly embedded and you're going to get maximum throughput pretty quickly. Now, the only downside to that, and it's an obvious one, is that you end up paying quite a lot of maintenance on routes that have absolutely no chance of making any money until they've been established for quite a while. So, I don't know. Do you have a different way of working? Why not leave a comment and let me know? There you go. There. Right, New York and this one, which is going to be food delivery to El Dorado. In fact, you could argue that that's El Dorado and Atlantis there, both scoring a bit of a food delivery there. Maybe I'll name it such. Food delivery Eldo Atlan. Right. Okay. Marvellous. Anything else you want to do there? No, not really, apart from deploy the trucks. We will stick a pair on each. Doesn't need any more than that. We just need to do enough to kind of tickle the demand meter. Delivery food and food delivery. Do make your mind up. There's loss. That's food transfer. It's different line there, friend. Food delivery loss. You've got so many windows open, you no longer know what you're doing. Right, here we go. Here's loss. Right, delivery. Food delivery. Good. Right, close that because you've done it. Buy 2 more. Alright, set line, delivery, food, NNNYK. That needs to be renamed. Let's do it the quicker way this time. Yep, food. Right, you just set that one in motion. You can kill that. One, two of these. Set this one onto something, somewhere, somehow, with someone. Eldo. Right. Thank you. Two more. And that one's going on the last one left. There was a fourth one. New York you've done. Los Santos you've done El Dorado. There's only 3. There's not 4. Oh, in which case this is going to be the transfer then, isn't it? So let's go for 6 on there. I want this one to turn around pretty flipping swiftish. Food transfer. Go. Right. That is one end of the equation built out, and actually it hasn't cost terribly massive amounts of money. The only real pity here is going to be that it's going to take flaming ages for the transport to get from one end to the other. But the payoff that it should generate when it gets there should well be spectacular. One hopes it will be spectacular, for if it is not spectacular, then this was a gargantuan waste of money, and you will all scoff accordingly. Right, fling this around like so. Yep. And then, hold on, we need to give this a funky name. This is Rapture Shipping. Brilliant. Your naming conventions are totally on point. Rapture Shipping. Shipping? No. Shipping. Transfer. Okay, cool. And then which factories you want to go for? I think we just go for the closest one. Yeah, I know more money is there to be made if you go for one further away, but let's go for the closest one. If I can go off the edge of this T-junction, that'll be good. Right, good. Right, so you are McDowell's. Right. McDowell's. Okay, now then, where are we going to deliver this to? Rapture is an easy one. We're going to sling quite a lot of it back on ships, but I think Elmore's a deliverable, isn't it? The answer to your question is yes, it is. And it's already in catchment, so that's good. Oh, there's another factory there. No chance. Maybe if you're switching to trains later on, but then you'll need to do some kind of clever wait till full process that doesn't nuke the entire line. For those of you who don't know, wait till full is a good way of nuking the entire line. You really, really don't want to do it. Right, 3 lines here, please. Okay, so you first off can go from here to... No, wait. There. Okay. You sure you don't want to bring it back with you? Well, as the town grows, if it encompasses this area, then in fact, we've probably got a little bit of catchment here now. You've got a little bit of catchment there now. Ah, interesting. So that might make this second line that we're going to do completely redundant, but it might not. So we're going to do it anyway. And then for our last trick, we shall go from here up to the long one. There, Ridge Street. Okay, right, so this is food delivery to whatever that is. What's that? Elmore. We're just pressing buttons there with no due care and attention. I mean, it's what you've come to expect, I admit, but even so, food delivery Elmo, and then you are which? I have to change the colour because colour vision has never been my strong suit. Where are we? You are going to be food transfer. I think I went transfer. Did you though? Look it up. Get it right this first time, and then you might have a fighting chance at remembering it in the future. It is transfer. All right, transfer, and that's where? Rapture. Wrapped. Yeah, I know. I can feel the logic behind a 3-letter code name for future transport. I think that might work next series. Which, the way my save games are going lately, could be tomorrow. And then the last one is here, which is food delivery. Rapture. Right, okay, cool. Now, where's my nearest depot? I'm pretty certain I'm using one that's absolutely flipping miles away that I set up to save a bit of money. So we'll actually, given that we've got trucks and whatnot coming out of here as well, we'll set another depot up, and it's not expensive. Well, yeah, that's because this is a cheap one. Right, buy some road vehicles, freight, please. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Ought to be enough. And we'll stick this on food transfer wrapped. Food transfer wrapped. There you go. All right, close it. This is my tried and tested system. This is how a simple soul like myself avoids getting confused. You buy your vehicles. 1, 2, yeah. You set it on the line that you want. This is going to be the Rapture delivery. Food delivery wrapped. Yes. They're out of the thing. Close the window. Then you go, what's the next window? Food delivery Elmo. This is going to need a 4, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Set line. Food delivery Elmo. Yes. Close it. Close that. Anything else need closing? No. We've got all vehicles set up everywhere. And then, of course, there's just the final route to do, which is ships. I think we're going to try 3 ships to start with, which is pretty flipping bold. Really, is it? Okay, it's not that bold. What have I tried to do there? I've tried to get it to go into a truck stop. Oh, roll on the time where we've got integrated modular stations and things. That would be absolutely splendid. I love the way they're swerving in and out of each other's lanes here. That's quite dramatic. Right, food, definitely. Shipping, it has to be. And this is going to be loss wrapped. Okay, it's a slightly more functional name than perhaps we're used to. And I tell you, this here, I'm feeling this is where my shipyard's going to live. It's not quite equidistant between the two, but given how much shipping I had going through this channel last time, I think this is the right place for it. So let's bung you in there. And this is the City 17 shipyard. Doesn't need any more work than that. Right, what are we doing? Freight. Okay. Have we got a good one? No. What do you do? 12 miles per hour. 12? Really? Flipping heck. I mean, the slightly faster models aren't that far away, but I think we're just going to have to do it. We're going to have to just go with the Wilhelm 1, and how much are they? 187 grand? Oh, flipping heck, let's go 10. Yeah, set line, that one. Yeah, it's an armada. That's what we're setting in motion here. An absolute massive flotilla of ships, which, if nothing else, should keep stuff moving around. Now, I'm going to put this on high speed. I don't like putting things on high speed, but we're trying a high speed kind of get back in business here. So that's a reason, I suppose. Where are you going? Oh, you're going out through there? Oh, that's very cool. Oh, this is a sight to behold, this one. In fact, I'd love to be able to get a port in here for City 17 itself. The time to do that would be later, because the AI will bulldoze or at least flatten some of this land for if it decides to build there. All right, slow it back down, slow it back down. No, this is the kind of shot that people come to see. Is it, though? Yeah, oh, it totally is. Right, there we go. And that is going to take us to the bridge, literally, for today. And the reason that we're going to hold up here for the moment is these are going to take a little while to bed in. It'll probably be 1875, I reckon, by the time I return. But the goal by that point will be $1 million in profit a year. More or less, give or take, up and down, side to side. Something along those lines. Around about the $1 million mark would be absolutely ideal, because what I want to do next time is tackle a properly meaty passenger freight route, train passenger route. Rails, passengers, routes, and things is what is coming next time round. I said I was going to show you something before we pushed off. Well, I'm showing you a ship. You're just going to have to live with it. All right, I've been Colonel Failure. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be back soon with the next thrilling installment. See you then. Cheerio. So, not having to immediately crack on and build something when only 6 months has passed, and instead allowing 10 years to pass before you build something, well, that's luxurious for a start. It allows the whole system to bed in properly and to actually start generating some cash. Yeah, it's got a few wrinkles in it here and there, but I'm pretty sure they can be smoothed out, particularly once I start investing in a little bit more road that goes in the direction that we want it to, rather than winding around endlessly, you know? We can make a bit more cash that way. Train-wise, I still hate that bit of track. Goodness me, oh, it's awful. It's just a horrible. Half of it, quite nice. The other half, holy cow, that's terrible. So I'm going to try and put some of it together. I think that there is reason to do a little bit of beautification as we go, rather than just leave things as a shocking great mess. Now, my main aim is going to be to get to the point of recreating and rebuilding the Dakota Bridge Landing. That's going to be my target for when we get to around 1920, 1930-ish. We're going to try and redo that. Obviously, is the Dakota out by 1930? It's there or thereabouts. Might be 1940. Regardless, at that point, we will be recreating that bridge if it takes me all day to do so. Until then, it's all about maximum profit all the time. Not just, oh, it's making $2,500 a year. Isn't that great? No, it's not. It's not good enough. We need to be making more than that. A lot more.